All right, hey everybody, what's up? I am Sarah, aka Suzu or simply Suzu on Twitch, and what I wanted to do was make a quick TSM cooking video. So I've been hanging out in Reckles' stream. He's twitch.tv/want to buy gold, WTB gold. And he happened to mention offhand that, he had trouble understanding, like, the doing TSM with cooking, and I was like, oh yeah, this is something that I do because I usually, in my gold making routine, I guess I end up making a lot of feasts and stuff. So I just wanted to go through real quick and just show you sort of like how the interface works and all that. So if you go into cooking, and so you have the TSM crafting. I have a bunch of other stuff here for my other alts and stuff. So I have actually loaded up. I was gonna make 20 hearty feast, 20 lavish Suramar feast. I loaded those up when these were positive. This is all obviously all the profit things. You want to craft things that are in the green as opposed to the red. And unfortunately, we have a lot of red right now. It looks like, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it anyway. And then sell it like when the price comes back up or something. So anyway, so what you do is you go into here. You figure out what you want to make and how many of what you want to make, and then you go to gather, and then you have this. So it just runs through a bunch of different things. So since this character is also a blacksmith, it has blacksmith listed because I was gonna make some armor and stuff. So I'm just gonna select this to just go to cooking. So I'm just gonna get rid of the blacksmith for right now. And then these are a bunch of options that you can try. I usually do ignore alts because what that'll do is it will look through the bags that the materials that your alts have in their bags, and if it's something that you need to cook, it'll be like, oh, this alt has some high mountain salmon or or whatever, and it's like, okay, I don't want to go like chase all that down, so I just hit ignore alts from and then later if I see an alt that has cooking materials, I'll just send it to my cook. And then, so, you can mess around with these. I usually just do ignore alts. So you hit start gathering, and then this pops up. And so what this is basically like a shopping list. This is like kind of like, I think every item, and it'll tell you can either like just buy it from the auction house or craft it. You just kind of scroll down and it'll give you stuff. It's saying, it's just giving those two options right now. And then over here is like, intermediate crafts. So it's like for these feasts, I have enough to make one right now, but like, Drogbar style salmon that goes in the lavish feast. And right now I have 19 of 60 that I would need to order in order to craft that feast all the way. So this is saying I need 5 Drogbar salmon. So I know this can be kind of confusing. So usually I go over to here, the intermediate crafting. And this sort of like figures it out for you. So like if you go to the Drogbar style salmon, it says I need 41, right? Because that 19 plus 41 equals 60. So I need to have 41 of these. And then underneath it says Drogbar style salmon times 5. So what that does is, like if you're in the default menu, like after you've gone through and done all the stuff with Nami, and you get rank 3 recipes. Rank 3 recipes will output 10 of whatever, right? And then like rank 2, like a Farinar Fizz that I haven't have that yet, it will only give you 7. So TSM takes that into account. So you have, like the Drogbar salmon, I have a rank 3 recipe, which means it's going to make 10. So as opposed to like, what's something that's here that I don't have? Farinar Fizz. I only have 3 that are not. But basically, if I needed something that would Farinar Fizz, it would be like, okay, you can make 7 in one round, and it will take that into account, and it will say, okay, you need to make this 5 times to get 35 for the amount that you need, right? So yeah, TSM's great that way. So salmon, like I was talking, there is, so Drogbar style salmon. So what you do is you go over to here, and since it says 5, you just go into you can't see it behind my camera, but you go down here and you type 5 and then you hit Q. And then what that does is now you're going to have to make 5 salmon. And then if you go back, if you just go through and do that for all of these, the red numbers tell you just basically how many to enter. So it's like, you go to spice rib roast and you hit 1, and then Q. And see, I can make that right now. Same thing, salt and pepper shank, etc., etc. So then what you'll notice happens over here is that this updates in the current source. So see, for Drogbar style salmon, I have all the materials to make it right now, except the royal olives, which are sold by the vendor. So what you can do actually, which is really great, is you just go over to the vendor and you click him, and then it says buy vendor items, and what it'll do is it'll just go ahead and buy 50 olives for you, which is awesome. So you don't have to do it yourself. You could be lazy. So then you go back to here. Obviously, if you've used TSM, I think this is true across all the professions, but if it's green, that means you have all the materials you need to make it. If it's blue, it's sort of like you have half of the material. You do have incomplete materials, but you can make a couple. You just can't make the full 20 or whatever number you've picked. And so you just click. And then the great thing is that, obviously this will update as it gets more stuff. Right now it won't totally, usually you hit it and it'll just run through all of them. So it'll just make, 3 Drogbar style salmon, and I just have to hit it once. If it does that, where you're like kind of clicking it one at a time, if you just reload your UI, it should fix it. It's just sort of one of those weird like TSM bugs, which I think they're fixing in future updates. So yeah, basically that's it. And it's just really easy. So this, it tells you what you need to make. So it's like, obviously here I need 1 more Fahrenheit fizz, 1 more salt and pepper shank, 1 more deep fried mossgill, or 2 more actually. And then here it's like I need the Labecue ribs, Surmarch, Surf and Turf, and Barracuda Mergalog, which is basically here. So it's like I need 1 Surf and Turf, I need 1 deep fried mossgill, I need 3 Labecue ribs, and then I need, salt and pepper shank. So admittedly, like, as a disclaimer, it's not perfect. I have noticed sometimes where you put stuff in, but then it's like you need like 1 more thing or something. So it's one of those things where I think it kind of will get you part of the way, but you kind of got to do the rest, or just keep an eye out. Like sometimes you'll be making like, you have enough stuff and I'm going to make 100 feasts today or whatever. And you get toward the end and then you're like, okay, I need like 5 more of this thing. And it just, even though I followed this, it just didn't calculate. I don't know why. It's just something I notice every now and then. So anyway, deep fried mossgill, surf and turf, and then barracuda, mergablog. And so there you go. And so now I can craft all these. If I do, let's see like in the feast here, I need 1 more Fahrenheit fizz, but it's not in here. And I'm wondering if that is maybe because I only need 1, so it's lower than like what I need. Like it would have me craft like 7 of them, and I only need 1. So it might be doing that. It might just be like, hey, look, you could just buy it on the auction house and it'd be so much easier. I'm guessing because it's here, like in the auction house set. So I think that ends up being the case sometimes. I think that's where that comes from. I haven't really like totally, like tested it like in that sense, but it's just something every now and then it's like you'll just come up like a tiny bit short. And I think that's what it's for, honestly. But yeah, so anyway, that's a basic like overview of cooking with the TSM. Yeah, and it's also my first WoW video. So yeah, let me know if that was helpful. And if there's anything else maybe that I could like try to help explain. I'm still sort of like a newbie like gold maker myself. I've only been doing it for a little while. But yeah, I can answer questions or whatever you need. So anyway, thank you all. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.